Okay, Mirza Hashem, we are on Chav Gimel Beis Amud Yomi. We are just to go over where we did. So we have a Maisa by Rav Nachman that says that we had just finished. That Amar Rabba Bar Rav Chana, Kiav Azlina Basrei de Rav Yochanan. We went after Rav Yochanan. Kiav Boy Lamela when he wanted to go into the Beit Kisei, have knock it Sifra de Agadato. Sifra Vagados Have Yalan. He would bring it into the Beit Kisei, but Kiav knock it Tefillin Lo Yavilon. He would not bring it. Shomer, he says, hold v'sharu rabbanon, to hold it at the time of the Beis Kisei, and for the shmira, need not run. It's going to watch over me. I'm going to bring it with me, and I am not going to give it to you before going into the Beis Kisei. More similarly by Rav Nachman, Amar Rava, Kevazlina basrei de Rav Nachman, Kevanoket sefer dagarato yavilon, but Kevanoket tefillin lo yavilon. Shomer, he says, hold v'sharu rabbanon, need not run. It protects us. Gemara continues with other dini tefillin and tashmisha kedusha, like we had talked about hesach hadas. Tana rabbanon, our rabbis taught lo yochaz adam tefillin biyado. A person shouldn't hold tefillin in his hand, not a sefer Torah bizro v'yispalo, because you're not going to be able to have proper kavanah. Again, holding a siddur is great, right? Or again, holding the lulav at that time is part of the mitzvah at that point. But v'lo yashtin bahen mayim, right? It's talking about both holding Sefer Torah and Tefillin. You shouldn't hold them and go and urinate. V'lo yishim b'hen, you shouldn't sleep with them. Lo shinas keva, v'lo shinas arai. And this has to do with hesach hadas, which is important. The Rabbeinu Yonah versus the Rambam. The Rabbeinu Yonah says as a hesach hadas, even the question of even as long as you don't have kalos rosh, he says it's not considered hesach hadas. And the question is, why is Shena considered hesach hadas or not? Rashi had said the reason that you shouldn't sleep with them is because maybe you'll pass gas, or there's a girsa of that maybe they'll fall. That's not sleeping with your tefillin. Shinas keva, shinas arai. And I mentioned the machlokes Rabbeinu Yonah and the Rambam. Rabbeinu Yonah is saying that it's an issue of hesach hadas with your tefillin on, as long as it's not active kalos rosh, it's okay. Versus the Rambam, who says you need to think about it actively, and helps change it to become an anav and yorei shamayim. The Gemara continues and says, "Who does the following brisa go like?" Less helchasak yas masnisa. The halacha is not like the following brisa, that you shouldn't yashtin while the tefillin is biyado. You shouldn't urinate while the tefillin is biyado. Keva, why is this right? Because it's Beit Shammai. Because that's the shita of Beit Shammai. Because Beit Shammai had said on Amar Aleph, Lo yikanes adam lebeis hakisei kavua, bora tefillin biyado. And that's true even by a Beit Kisei arai when you are mashtin. So one more time, Beit Shammai had said on Chaf Gimel Amar Aleph, you can't go into the Beit Kisei kavua while the tefillin's there. And it's true also Beit Kisei arai now that says not to be mashtin. Why? Because if it is Beis Hillel, Hashta Beis Kisei Kavua Shari, if the Beis Kisei Kavua, which we had talked about whether it's Kavua or that there's Soa there, Beis Hillel allowed you to go with Tefillin Biyado, again on Chav Gimel Amud Aleph, the Beis Kisei Rai Mibaya, it's a Kal V'chomer. Must be that it's a sheet of Beit Shammai, and we don't pass on like halacha. The Gemara is Doche Reb Sheshas. It says not true, because Meizveh, we have a bright Dvarim Shitati Lecha Kan, in the Beis Kisei Kavua, Amarti Lecha Kan, in the Beit Kisei Arai, i.e., there are things that are mutter in the Beit Kisei Kavua, and nevertheless it's usher in the Beit Kisei Arai. So the Gemara says, my love, this is not tefillin. And if that's true, Yamris Bishlama, if you want to say that this brisa goes like Beis Hillel, so what does it mean? Dvarim Shitarti L'chakan, that's in the Beit Kisei Kavua. The Beis Hillel allows you to go with the tefillin in your hand. But Asarti L'chakan in the Beit Kisei Arai, that you can't be mashtin, can't urinate with the tefillin biyado. Eliyam is Beit Shammai, Halo Shar V'lo Midi. Beit Shammai didn't allow anything. Even in Beis Kisei Kavua, you can't go with your tefillin, right? You can't say Dvarim Shitarti L'chakan. But it must be that the Bryce is going like Beis Hillel, and he says it's Asar Lashtin with the tefillin biyado, and Kasha to Rav Sheish. The Gemara answers, Kitanya he, no. Dvarim Shasarti, it's not talking about the Isser of bringing tefillin into the Beit Kisei, but it's talking about tefach and tefachayim, that a person who goes to the bathroom, tzarachim and Beis Kisei, should not be megal his goof, only, again, it wasn't as private as nowadays, only kamo shetzarich, because it's snius. The Gemara brings a proof to this whole concept of tefach and tvachayim. To Tani Chada, we have one brisa. Kishu nifne, when you go to the bathroom, migal the guf, la'acharav only a tefach, ulefanav tvachayim. Tani Yidach, we have another brisa, la'acharav tefach, ulefanav aloklom. So how do you deal with the stira? My love, are they not talking about by a man, be ish, fulo kasha, and how do you answer it? The bright that says la'acharav tefach and ulefanav aloklom, it's talking about for gedolim, when you have to go to the bathroom, be gedolim. Fekan, when the Brisa says la'acharav tefach v'lefanav tefachayim, let's talk about l'ktanim, and that would be like the Brisa of dvarim shitarti l'chakan. The Gemara asks, "V'tizra, is this really logical? If the Brisa says that you're allowed to be megal la'acharav tefach, u'lefanav tefachayim is talking about ktanim, and legalos la'acharav tefach lamali. So why do I need that if it's talking about ktanim? So because of this question, the Gemara explains it differently. Ela idvidi, both Brisas talk about gedolim. Kasha, the one that's talking about milafanav tvachayim is talking about a man. And even for Gedolim, that is still Megal Lefanav Tvachayim, because he push out the Gedolim, you need sometimes even the Ketanim. Baha, the Braisa, that's talking about the Achor of a Tefach and Lefanav nothing, it's talking about an Isha. Okay, and therefore we can still have the Braisa, Dvarim Shitati Lechakan, Asati Lechakan, and explain what does it mean, Ma Shitati Lechabi Ish, to Legalop Lefanav Tvachayim, Asati Lechabi Isha. Because there you can't do anything, because a woman doesn't need it. Gemara no says Dvarim Shitat Lecha that you said about Tefet Tvachayim. Ask the Gemara Hachi if that's true. Hadik Tani Allah, that what you ask in the Sefer the Brayso Zehu Kavachomer Shenal of Tshuva. This is a question that with a Kavachomer that has no kasha on it. What is this Kavachomer that ain't all of Tshuva? Right? That if the Brayso is talking about Tefillin based Kisei and Shitas based Hillel, that you're allowed to do Nakavua but Asar and Arai, I understand. You can ask from a Kavachomer. Because if hutar bekavua kavachomer ba'arai, but if you say that the Brisa is talking about a tefach tefachayim of nish nisha, what kavachomer are you talking about here? The darka de mosachisa, that's just a derech. The man needs to be megal lefan of tefachayim, and the isha doesn't need it all. Elav, what must the Brisa be talking about? Like we originally thought, tefillin beis akise, and tiyufta the Rav Amar Rav Sheshes, and that's what the Gemara answers. And tiyufta, it's a tiyufta the Rav Sheshes for sure. Beitela asas lahashtin, while the tefillin's biyado, and the Brisa originally says that it goes l'shitatam. What is the kavachomer in the Brisa? Mikomakom kasha. What is this wine-based piece kisei arai? It's more chamor than kavua. Hashal based kisei kavua shari. The based kisei arai lo kol shekain. And so the Gemara achin naachi kamer based kisei kavua when you do your tzarchav gedolim. Excuse me, lakanitzotos. There's no sprinkles that are going while sitting down. So therefore, shari, you can hold the tefillin in your hand. But basically, say arai, when you're mashtim, when you're standing up, there's it springs off onto your feet, and you need to wipe it. So that's asari, because you need to wipe your hands with the nitzotos with your hand. Yachi, if that's true, that's the chiluk between the kavu and the arai. Why does the Brisa say kavachom shenel of tshuva? We have a tshuva malyas. It's a great question. One of them has nitzotzot from the urine, and the other one doesn't, and that's why the arai is more chamer than a kavua. And it's the Gemara hachi kamer ha milsa. This din of tefillin bebeis kisei bekavua v'arai teiti lecha b'toras taimu. We should learn it based on svara, and therefore that's why you have to allow the kavua, because there's no nitzotzos and lasar b'arai, which has nitzotzos. V'lo teiselach b'kavachomer. We shouldn't learn it from a kavachomer. Diaselach b'toras kavachomer. That which we allowed bekavua kavachomer ba'arai zel kavachomer shenel tshuva. Right? You can't. Doesn't make sense. Right? There's no kavachomer there shum pircha. Right? That basically say arai should be more chomer than kavua. Right? But if the reason would be is because of nitzotzos, then there's a tam. The Gemara brings a brayso by the nikios towards a suda. Tanu rabban hanarotzelikonis the sudas keva. You want to go into the sudas keva. Mahalech asara pamim arba amos or arba pamim esar amos. And each time go check if you have to go to the bathroom. V'yipaneh, and then go to the bathroom, and then afterwards go nichnas le sadeh. Right? Because it was a gnai to have to go to the bathroom in the middle of the suda. The Gemara brings a din of tefillin b'shas suda. Amar v'yitzchak nichnas sudas keva. Cholitz tefillah, take off your tefillin first. V'achak nichnas, because you might get drunk in the suda, and that's a gnus while the tefillin still alive. U'pligid the Rab Chia, Rabbi Yitzchak goes in Rab Chia. To Rab Chia, you take off your tefillin before the suda. Manichin al shulchano, you put it on the shulchan with you by the suda, v'chein hadurla, right? That's what you should do. That it should always be there. That when you want to put it right back on. So Rabbi Yitzchak argues and he says that you don't put it on the shulchan in the suda. You took it off before you go into the suda. When does the soid put it back on? Ba'ad emas, that the tefillin should be put down and not on. Before Birkas Hamazon, you wash your hands and you put them back on. The Gemara talks about again more about kvorat tefillin. Tanicha that sorodim tefillin imo usav be'ar pakususo. Right? Tanidach lo yotzarodim tefillin with the money biyachad. So it's a stira. Do you put the money together with this kerchief on your hand or on your head, or not? The Gemara answers lo kasha. The Breita that says you can't tie the money in the same sudar with your tefillin is talking about bezamne, that I was maksa, I designated the sudar to put my tefillin there. Therefore, if it's designated to put it there in that tefillin bag, you can't put money there because it's huksal tefillin. And the Breita says it wasn't designated for that. Kedam Rav Chizda, like Rav Chizda says, hi sudra the tefillin da azmei lemeitzer by tefillin. If you have literally it's a kerchief, but it's again a tefillin zekel that you put it to put tefillin in there. Im tzarba tefillin also lemeitzer by pshita. You can't put other things in there, tie other things in there. But im azmei velo tzarba. But if you set it aside, but you didn't tie it yet, or tzarba, you tied it velo azmei, but you didn't designate for tefillin, then shar the mitzvah zuzeh. You can tie up money there. Mar brings the sheet of Abaye that says, well, Abaye damar hazmana milsihi, that even just the yichud or the haktzah, the actual designation, even without a ma'isa, is good enough to be considered muksa. We have to say azam ne'afagav lo tzarbe is still asr. Even just the yichud, the designation, even though you didn't tsar it, you didn't do anything yet, is still a problem. But tzarbe, if you did tie it, azmane, if you set it aside beforehand, it's asr. Lo azmane, but if you didn't set it aside, lo. We'll continue with Chaf Daled tomorrow.